In the Quran, there is a story that made even the hardest hearts cry. A story of a son's love so pure it shook nations. A story of forgiveness so complete it changed history. This is the story of Prophet Yousuf, the man who lost everything yet gained the entire world. Today we're telling you his story, not just his history, but as a lesson for your life. Because Yousuf's pain was real, his love was real, and his triumph will inspire you to never give up. Let's dive in. Imagine living in ancient Palestine. You're a man named Yaqub, known to the world as Jacob, the grandson of Abraham. You have 12 sons. 11 of them are strong, brave, born from different mothers. But then, after years of prayer, finally, your beloved wife Rachel gives you a son. And this son, Yousuf, is different. He isn't just handsome, he's wise beyond his years, intelligent, compassionate. Everything you prayed for. Yaqub loved all his sons, but Yousuf? Yousuf held a special place in his heart. The Quran tells us, he said, "O my son, do not relate your vision to your brothers, lest they contrive against you a plot." Why? Because Yaqub loved Yousuf so much, he was protecting him. Even a father's love can be dangerous when others are jealous. Yousuf had a dream. He saw 11 stars, the sun, and the moon bowing to him. He innocently told his father. Yaqub immediately understood. "This means you'll be a prophet, my son, but never speak of this again." But Yousuf made a mistake. He told his brothers. The brothers were furious. Why should he be special? Why should father love him most? They plotted. They schemed. And one day they came to their father with a lie so cruel it would haunt Yaqub for decades. "Father," they said, "let Yousuf come with us to play and enjoy himself. We will take care of him." Yaqub was hesitant. He didn't want Yousuf to go. His father's love was telling him something was wrong. But they insisted, and he agreed. That was the worst mistake a father could make. They threw him into a dark well. Yousuf cried out, "Oh, my father!" But there was no one to hear him except his brothers, who walked away, leaving him to die. Then a caravan came by. They pulled him out and sold him as a slave. Yousuf, a free man, a prophet, was now property. And his brothers returned home, covered his shirt in false blood, and told their father, "A wolf ate him." Yaqub looked at that blood-stained shirt. And he knew they were lying. He didn't scream, he didn't rage. Instead, he said something that would echo through history. A father's heart was broken, but his faith remained unshaken. Imagine you're Yousuf. You're a teenager. Your own brothers betrayed you. You were thrown into a pit. You thought you were going to die. Now you're a slave in Egypt, a foreign country where you know no one. Your father doesn't know if you're alive or dead. You don't know if you'll ever see him again. But here's the thing about Yousuf. Even in darkness he found light. The Quran says, "And the one who bought him from Egypt said to his wife, 'Make his stay comfortable. Perhaps he will benefit us, or we will adopt him as a son.' And thus we established Yousuf in the land." Yousuf served his master Potiphar with excellence. Even as a slave he was dignified, honest, trustworthy. His master noticed. He promoted Yousuf. He gave him responsibility. Yousuf was rising again. But then Potiphar's wife saw him, and she wanted him not for marriage but for sin. She locked the doors. She pursued him. "Come to me," she demanded. And here's where Yousuf's true character showed. He ran. He fled from sin even though he was alone, enslaved, with no one to protect him. "I seek refuge in Allah," he cried out. "He is my Lord and he has treated me well." She was scorned. She was angry. So she lied. She accused Yousuf of trying to assault her. And Potiphar believed his wife over the slave boy. Yousuf was thrown into prison. From a pit to slavery to prison. Do you see the pattern? Every time Yousuf did the right thing, he was punished. But Yousuf didn't curse Allah, he didn't lose faith, he didn't become bitter. Instead, he said, "Perhaps this is a trial. Perhaps Allah has a plan for me." In prison, Yousuf made friends with two inmates. Both had dreams. Yousuf interpreted their dreams with a skill that would change his life. One dream meant the man would be freed and serve the king wine. "Remember me," Yousuf begged him. "Tell the king about me. Help me escape this prison." But the man forgot him. And Yousuf stayed in prison. For 7 years, Yousuf sat in that prison. 7 years. Meanwhile, in Palestine, his father Yaqub sat blind with grief. Every day he wept for his son. Every day he wondered, "Is my Yousuf alive? Does he remember me? Will I ever see him again?" The love between a father and son, it never died. It echoed across the desert. Then everything changed. The king of Egypt had a dream. 7 fat cows were eaten by 7 thin cows. 7 green ears of grain were eaten by 7 dry ones. He was terrified. He asked all his advisors to interpret the dream. No one could. Then, finally, someone remembered. That man in prison. That Yousuf. That slave who interpreted dreams. They brought Yousuf from the dungeon. Yousuf listened to the dream and explained. 7 years of abundance will come, then 7 years of famine. Store grain during the good years to prepare for the bad years. The king was amazed. "Bring this man to me," the king commanded. "You are now my trusted advisor." Yousuf, the slave, the prisoner, the betrayed son, was now the second most powerful man in Egypt. The king gave him authority over the land's treasures. Yousuf was no longer a servant, he was a leader. And when the famine came, exactly as he predicted, people from all over came to Egypt to buy grain, including his family. His brothers came, the same brothers who threw him in a well, the same brothers who lied to their father. But they didn't recognize him. He was a man now, powerful, in Egyptian clothing. Here's where the story becomes incredible. Yousuf could have had them arrested. He could have had them killed. He could have made them suffer the way they made him suffer. But Yousuf was not a man of revenge. He was a man of compassion. He tested them first. He wanted to see if they had changed, if they felt remorse. He accused them of being spies. He demanded they bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, Yousuf's full brother, the other son of Rachel. When Benjamin arrived, Yousuf's heart nearly burst. He wept in private. He held Benjamin close. Then he placed a golden cup in Benjamin's bag and accused him of theft. And here's what happened. The brothers refused to leave Benjamin behind. They said, "We cannot abandon him. Our father has already lost one son. If we lose another, it will kill him." Yousuf heard this. And he knew they had changed. He knew they truly loved their father. He knew they felt genuine remorse. Finally, he revealed himself. "I am Yousuf. I am your brother." The brothers were shocked. They were terrified. They thought he would punish them. But instead, Yousuf said something that will make you cry. "There is no blame upon you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful." Quran 12:12. Yousuf forgave them. Completely. Totally. He didn't just forgive, he embraced them. He said, "Take this shirt of mine and throw it over my father's face. His sight will be restored, and bring me your whole family." The brothers raced back to Palestine with Yousuf's shirt. When they reached their father Yaqub, they placed it on his face. And immediately his blindness healed. Yaqub's eyes opened. And the first thing he saw was his beloved son Yousuf. The father fell into his son's arms. The son fell into his father's arms, and they wept. Years of separation, years of grief, years of not knowing, all ended in one moment. Yaqub said, "My lord, you have already granted me kingship and taught me the interpretation of dreams. Creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and the hereafter." And the dream Yousuf had when he was young, the dream where 11 stars, the sun and the moon bowed to him, it had come true, but not in the way he expected. It came true through loss, through suffering, through patience. It came true through love. So why are we telling you this story today? Because somewhere, you are suffering. Maybe you've been betrayed by someone you love. Maybe you've been treated unfairly. Maybe you've lost your way. Maybe you're separated from someone you love. And you're wondering, will things ever get better? Yousuf's story tells you yes. But only if you do what Yousuf did. First, he didn't lose faith. When he was in the pit, he could have cursed Allah. He could have become bitter. Instead, he trusted. He believed that Allah had a plan. When you're betrayed, you have a choice. Become angry or become faithful. Yousuf chose faith. Second, he didn't give up, no matter how many times he fell. Yousuf fell again and again. Betrayed by brothers. Sold as a slave. False accusation. Imprisoned for 7 years. But each time he rose again. Each time he worked harder, he was more honest, he was more excellent. When you fail, you can either stay down or get up. Yousuf always got up. Third, he forgave completely. This is the hardest part. Yousuf could have punished his brothers. He had the power. But he didn't. He forgave them because he understood holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. If you're still angry at someone who hurt you, ask yourself, am I living like Yousuf or am I living like his brothers? Yousuf lived a life of love. His love for his father kept him human in slavery. His love for Allah kept him faithful in prison. His love for his brothers gave him the strength to forgive. Fourth, he trusted that Allah's plan is better than his own plan. Yousuf's dream was to be a leader. And he was. But not the way he expected. He didn't just become a king. He became a savior to an entire nation. Sometimes Allah's plan for you is bigger than your plan for yourself. Trust it, even when you don't understand it. We called this a love story, but it's not a romance. It's the love story between a father and son. It's the love story between a son and his God. It's the love story between brothers and redemption. Yaqub waited for Yousuf for 13 years without knowing if he was alive. That's not just love, that's eternal love. And when they were finally reunited, all those years of pain dissolved in one embrace. If you have a parent you haven't spoken to, call them today. If you have a sibling you've been angry with, reach out today. If you have a dream that seems impossible, pursue it today. Because Yousuf teaches us, the best stories are the ones where you never give up. The story of Yousuf is the longest story in the Quran. Allah dedicated an entire chapter, Surah Yousuf, to his life. Do you know why? Because the lessons are timeless. Because in every generation there are people who feel betrayed, who feel lost, who feel like giving up. And Yousuf's life says to them, you can overcome. You will succeed. Allah's plan for you is beautiful. I want to ask you something. Where are you in Yousuf's story right now? Are you in the pit, facing betrayal? Are you in slavery, facing hardship? Are you in prison, feeling trapped? Or are you on your way to reunion and redemption? Whatever stage you're in, know this. It's not the end of your story. It's just the middle. Yusuf's greatest days came after his worst days. Yours will too. If this story touched your heart, please. 1. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. 2. Subscribe for more stories that will change your life. 3. Comment below, what's your biggest takeaway from Yousuf's story? And remember, when you feel lost, when you feel broken, when you feel like no one cares, think of Yousuf in that well, think of him in that prison. And remember, Allah never forgets his servants. Never.